Whoa. Okay, it's 7 o'clock. If everybody would please stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. So we'll call this meeting to order. Start with a roll call, of course. Commissioner Nugent? Here. Commissioner Sanchez?
Here.
Commissioner Zatar? Here. Commissioner Zamparelli? Okay, not here. Commissioner Paul? Here. Vice Chairman Schuessler?
Here.
Chairman Parisi? Here. Thank you. Okay. We all receive copies of the minutes from the meeting of December 5th. We've all had time to look at them. So I would entertain a motion to approve the minutes of the December 5, 2023 meeting.
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Moved by Commissioner Schuessler, second by Commissioner Paul. All in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Okay.
I abstain.
Abstained by Commissioner Zatar. Since there are no public hearings, I move we open public hearings with public hearing number 2023-0508, Police Department Firing Range and EOC Facility Project at 10609 through 29 163rd Place. I move that we open that hearing.
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Paul. All in favor?
Aye. Aye.
It's unanimous, okay. So the petitioner's here. You will have to, we record these meetings, so you get sworn in, of course.
Would anyone who intends to speak on behalf of the petitioner please stand and raise your right hand?
Yeah, well, yeah, if you think you might have a question.
Yeah,
Got a
There
lot
might
of
be a
questions.
question, there could be a question that could pertain to your area, so yeah.
thank you. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that any testimony you present tonight in this matter will be the truth and nothing but the truth? If so, please say I do. I do. Thank you.
Good. And as you speak, when you come up to the podium, if you just give everybody your name and address and your position.
Okay.
Sir.
Good evening. My name is Joel Van Essen. I'm the Public Works Director for the Village of Orland Park. My address actually is in Orland Park. It's 13601 Ishnala Drive in Orland Park. I want to thank you. With me are some great folks from Valdez Engineering, and they are here to, they helped us with the design of the building. Both Mike and Isaac are here from Valdez. So with that, I have a short presentation to kind of go through the project. All right, so a little bit about the background and the requirements that generated this project for the village. In 2020, a comprehensive study was done for all of our facilities. We looked at maybe some that are getting a little old in age, what are where people will work, or what the sizes are. One area that we identified was the current range. The current range is in the Public Works site of the village. It's an outdoor range with a covered roof, as the pictures are showing. The report showed that this doesn't meet the standard for an outdoor range. So we quickly started to put together proposals from A&Es to look at what we could do to provide an indoor range, because we don't have the space, the land, the village does not have the land either for a complete outdoor range because of the impact zones beyond the range. Most ranges have a zone for many, many miles. So with that, we looked at what is a good site? Where is a good site to place this indoor range? And so we looked at this particular site. One, we own the land, which is the yellow box near the little pond in the red there. But it was also kitty corner from the training center of the fire department, which is that large yellow box. In addition, it was next to the Public Works spoil site, which is the red box. So being that they're all first responder type of entities, we said this is a great site for that. We also looked at around the businesses in the area. There's not really any residential. There is tilt-up construction type of warehouses all in this area. So when we looked at this, we thought was an ideal site for this. And so we also looked at requirements for, we included an EOC part of this because our EOC currently is in a building right across from the pond here in the old police station. An EOC should not be in your main area close to your other buildings because we could operate out of these buildings, but if we have emergency, we really need to be in a separate area away from the other buildings because you never know of kind of hazards, tornadoes or something that comes through. You don't want to wipe out all your assets in one area. So we looked at this as another site. It's close to the police department. It's literally a couple miles, maybe 2 miles away from the police department, so they don't have to drive far either when they're going to go to the training. So with that, we thought this site was a perfect site for that. You can see an elevation of the building that the A&E's put together. And you can see how we have an entry area, but there's very few windows in this building because of the type of nature. It's a range and also an EOC center. So we do have a couple of 3 windows, but that's in the training room. So when we looked at the design, they did an excellent job of really honing down and doing multi-purpose kind of functions, sometimes in the same spaces with those 2 functions of an EOC and a range. The red box, you can see, is a red area for the range. It has where they would be shooting, a cleaning area for their weapons, an observation room to watch the people as they're shooting, and then a storage area. The orange areas are a simulator room. So currently they have a small simulator room in the police department. They would have this out here because you could interact both live fire and then also a simulator room right next door. And then south of that is a training room that they would be utilized prior to going onto the range. So the people are trained. The key part of that is that room can then also be used at a EOC when we have an emergency. Because we're not going to be shooting when in emergency. They're going to be out there working. And so that room can be reconfigured for the EOC and use that as a point spot. Just south of, about below that is a yellow area. That's where a backup dispatch center would be. So they could put some folks out there, three desks, and dispatch operation will be occurring there as well that police can utilize. The blue areas are common space items, a break room, and some bathrooms. And then the green area is your maintenance, your mechanical system rooms, like electrical, mechanical, and so forth. From a site perspective, on the east side of the building, the building is orientated, north is pointing up, sorry, just make sure. The east side of the building would be the visitor parking lot. It's open, no fence or anything like that. That's where the garbage can come in, pick up the garbage at the bottom of the site. On the west side, we have an impound lot. The current impound lot is in Public Works as well. And so there is going to be some future development at Public Works. So we wanted to make sure the impound lot came down here. That area would be fenced. There is also a storage building for the emergency service folks that are also launched by the EOC, and a covered area for their equipment so that they can launch without a lot of scraping of ice and so forth like that. In addition, on that west side is an emergency generator. Fully enclosed, because obviously if we have a tornado, we want to protect that generator in case we lose power. Oh, sorry, did I hit everything? There is some storm, the last thing, there's also some storm detention on the west side. The pond that was in that first, it's kind of a mirage. All the water flows away from the building. It doesn't go to that pond. It actually goes to a pond up just north, about 1.5 blocks away. So we were trying to get it to flow to that same pond, but it doesn't work with the slope. So it has to go to that. So we have some underground storage detention. A little bit, the exterior also includes the dumpster I mentioned. You can see the yellow area for some lights, but the building has some lights on the exterior as well. And then obviously landscaping around the building. And we showed you a couple of the enclosures of those, the dumpster area there, so you can see that as well. That kind of concludes, we made a model, so you're more than welcome to, if the roofs pop off, if you want to see it 3D a little bit, ignore the colors, because that's not how it will look, not that colorful. But my kids only have so many logos for me to make that model, so.
Your kids
Great
did
job
your
on
kids
that
do that,
model.
or?
You did a great job on that model, and
So,
obviously, I was down there looking at it. I would encourage all my fellow commissioners to go down there. You get a real idea, you know, other than the picture, you get a real scale model of it, and really, really impressive, get you an idea what's going on. So I just think you did a great job on that.
we're welcome to take any questions that you guys have.
Well, we want to hear from staff.
That's true, that's right. You have to do yours. Shut up.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Joe.
Okay, I'd like to begin by requesting that the staff report is entered into the record as written and as presented tonight. So the petitioner is looking to, for approval of a plat of consolidation, site plan, landscape plan, and building elevations to construct a 15,400 square foot police department firing range and EOC facility at 10629 163rd Place. The site is zoned manufacturing, and governmental uses are a permitted use in that zone. And the firing range does fit in well with the surrounding context due to there is a OFPD training facility, their maintenance facilities also right in the area, and just the surrounding context, it just makes sense. So first, the petitioner is seeking to consolidate lots 26 and 27 in phase 3 of the Beamster Bower Industrial Park. And this is not a public hearing just because non-residential lot consolidations do not require a public hearing according to our land development code. So the manufacturing district requires that the minimum lot area for the uses are 20,000 square feet, and this well exceeds that requirement. And because of that, we recommend approval of that plat of consolidation. Going into the site plan, the firing range and EOC is located on that 2-acre site and has 2 curb cuts onto 163rd Place. The east curb cut will be used to access the main building and is the public entrance of the facility. And that west curb cut will be used to enter that vehicle seizure lot. It is gated, and tow trucks and police can enter and leave through that gate. And the access to that area is only permitted with police officer credentials. And so governmental uses are required to provide parking at a rate of 1 per 500 square feet of space. And this requirement has been met because the vehicle seizure lot would not count towards the parking requirement as it is outdoor storage and the users of the lot are not the ones using the building. And then, as Joel mentioned, there are some accessory structures on the site which have been designed to match the main building. Those include that carport that was mentioned, a supply shed, a generator room, and a trash enclosure. And all these items they do meet the code requirement for the accessory structures on the site. The carport is located in that gated lot and contains masonry pillars that match the main building. The supply garage is also on that west side of the building and shares the same exterior materials. That's shown here, as well as the generator room, which is connected to that supply garage. Going into the building elevations, the proposed building exterior is a combination of precast concrete with a brick face and an acid wash panel finish. And there is a screening wall at the top of the building, which would max out the height at 27 feet and 4 inches, which does meet our code requirement for the manufacturing district. One thing to note about the windows, non-commercial uses do not have a window or a transparency requirement as we've seen in other industrial developments throughout town. And the overall design meets the standards outlined in the design standards of the Land Development Code. And here's just some additional pictures of the elevations. The preliminary landscaping has been approved by staff for this petition. One item was forgotten during the preliminary approval, which was one of the landscape islands. Just one additional landscape island tree needs to be added to that double-sized landscape island on the west side of the site in the vehicle seizure lot, and we just added that as a condition of approval. And then for preliminary engineering has also been recommended for approval. As Joel mentioned, there is underground stormwater on site. I kind of highlighted that area in red so you could see. And yeah, preliminary engineering was recommended for approval by staff. Going into the staff recommended action, staff recommends that the Plan Commission approve the site plan, landscape plan, engineering, and building elevations prepared by Valdez Architecture and Engineering, last revised December 1st, subject to the following conditions, which are our standard conditions, except there is the one item to include one additional parking lot landscape island tree within the site, just to meet the minimum code requirements. And staff also recommends that the Plan Commission approve a preliminary plat of consolidation for lots 26 and 27. And the staff recommended motion is regarding case number 2023-0508, also known as Police Department Firing Range and EOC Facility. I have moved to approve the staff recommended action as presented to the Plan Commission for this case.
Thank you. On a recommended action, do we need number 5? I didn't think there was going to be a sign.
I wasn't aware of if there was or was not going to be a sign, but we do put that as a condition of all of our approvals, so it could be removed if you'd like.
Right now, the police department chief said he doesn't want a sign. It may be something once you get into the lobby or something like that, but just wants it. Yes,
Okay.
not
Well-
to call it out too much.
Well, leaves it out there that you need to get a permit, so if you wanted one.
Roger
Maybe you
that.
change your mind.
Correct.
Okay.
And then we use our standard signs if that.
Right.
Most likely would be that standard sign.
Okay, thanks. Well, now I'll move on to if our commissioners have any comments or questions. Commissioner Nugent?
No, it was just more curiosity on the detention pond behind us. Who uses it?
The detention pond to the east is actually.
No, east.
East, yes. That pond is actually collects all the water for the businesses to the east. And it all flows, because it kind of flows from 108th and it's flowing west.
Okay.
And so it collects all those other,
No, from 104th toward 108th, you're saying?
sorry, 104th, yes. 104th to going towards 108th. Good catch. Thank you. Yeah, so other warehouses and so forth are in that area.
And the people to the west of us are going another way with their engineering?
So this building and the building next to it, there's a pond north of the fire department. If you see that triangle area, just to have a pointer?
Got a pointer? Doesn't help you, huh?
Anyways, that triangle
Yeah,
is a detention area. There you go, thank you.
Yeah, I didn't mean
He's got a better pointer.
Yeah, next to the railroad tracks.
So that's where, and then the creek, Marley Creek runs right along the railroad tracks. And so it dumps into the Marley Creek area. And so, yes, there is a great, nice little pond next to our site, but that's not how the water flows.
not yours, yeah.
It is actually a village-owned pond, but it's collecting,
Okay.
I'm more thinking like for the future. So behind us is like office condos, right?
Which direction, sir?
Due south?
Yes, yes, there is some
The
office,
village storage facility is in between.
Right, that long stretch is out, right?
correct.
Okay.
And then after that, there's an,
Sorry?
Turn your mic on. Mine's on.
yeah, so right below this site is Public Works spoil site, and then below that is there's other businesses, office complex businesses.
Thank you, Jan. Commissioner Schuster?
Couple of questions. What type of underground storage is being utilized?
Please, your name and position for the record.
Yep. Ryan Blocker, Jacob and Hefner Associates. We're the civil engineers on the project. Currently, we're contemplating a corrugated metal pipe system. Haven't really finalized a certain system design, but it'll essentially be open pipe storage.
Doesn't the corrugated piping rust after a bit?
No, I mean, they galvanized those, and I mean, they've had success. Again, Contact is the manufacturer that we've been talking to so far. Widely used in the way they treat the metal ahead of time. It has, I mean, I think they've tested it for many years of service. But, you know, again, we're also consider plastic, ADS, or, you know, really any system, just trying to find something that's both economical and, of course, you know, maintainable and a long service life.
Okay, thanks. Couple of other questions. On the drawing that's called sheet ASK 002, makes reference to vehicle access to the range.
Yes.
Does that mean you can drive a vehicle in that garage door into the range?
Yes, sir. That's a good question. I did not highlight that. Through the west side, you'll see right in,
Driveway.
north of the generator, that access lane, it allows the vehicle to go in, and they wanted a dynamic range. So they want vehicles, they do it currently at Public Works site, but they shoot around a vehicle. They move around a vehicle. They hop out a vehicle and shoot. That's the kind of dynamic training that they're doing, real life training. And so a vehicle will be allowed in, and it's shown on the model as well.
Okay, then a couple of questions on sheet A050. Oh, the carport, I think you answered that. That's so that if they have to get out in a hurry, EOC people, they don't have to scrape windows and whatever.
Yes, sir.
Okay, on the sheet for the middle section where you've got the mechanical room and stuff it was up there in a blue area, down toward the secure lot, there's two, I don't know if they're columns or whatever. What are those? On sheet
You may want to go to
A050.
my presentation. That's just a bump out.
Right here, the security gate?
Yeah, so along the hallway to the range, there's some lockers so that people need a change. And the bump out is just a studded out area so that the lockers, you don't,
No, come on up, Rowan. That's not what I'm talking about. These things right here, what's that? Those columns that's,
Isaac Plum, project architect for Valdez. Those are just structural elements. Those are columns.
Columns?
That are, yeah,
Okay.
that you can see on the roof plan.
okay.
Yeah, similar to, if we go to the elevation of the front of the building, there were two similar columns there.
On the east side? Okay.
Yeah, we're mimicking the same on the west side.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah.
we'll show it on the elevation drawings too.
That's okay. I just wondered what they were. I got some other notes on there, so.
There we go. You can see how they're.
Oh,
you know,
okay.
On the sides, by that door.
Same thing, okay.
Yes, it gives it a visual effect of elevation.
Okay. What about communications for the EOC?
Yes,
I think there's fiber optic now that runs between the
yes,
present EOC, the village hall, the police department.
correct.
What about communications down to this building, which is quite a way south?
Yes. We're working through with IT department. Our director, Tad, is reached out. We're actually putting an RFP on the street here in January
For fiber optic?
for a fiber optic. We have conduit from Costco pretty much, all the way down to the Sportsplex on the south side of 159th Street. So we're going to run our cable in that conduit, which has no wire currently,
Down to 108th,
104th,
104th?
before we cross the railroad tracks. And we're going to head down 104th and then come in from that way.
165th or whatever it is.
Third, I think, place.
Okay.
So fiber optics will be awarded here this spring with this separate project than this, but to provide that communication. We're also going to look at communication down to the Sportsplex too.
Okay. Then a couple of questions for staff over there. In the title and the summary on the staff report, you talk about police department, firing range, and EOC. A lot of people might not know what EOC means. And I think you made reference to it once tonight. It's Emergency Operations Center.
Yes.
So I think it'd be a good idea if you say that, and then you put in parens EOC, and then all the rest of the way down, you can say EOC, and somebody can refer back up, and, oh, I know what EOC is now. Then down in the summary in the background, toward the bottom of that paragraph, it says, within the secured lot, there is garage access to the firing range. The garage access, that you just means, you mean that garage door, right?
Yes, garage door.
Yeah,
It's not really a garage inside, it's just a garage door there, right?
that, I meant, yeah, sorry about that. I meant the garage door itself.
Okay.
To access the site. Yeah.
Okay.
And as does garages, it's a little confusing too. There's a little.
Yeah, there's a
built-
supply garage, and then it.
Supply garage, too.
At first I read and I thought there's two garages, where, you know,
No,
I
just
kinda
that
confused.
little garage.
On the proposed setbacks, we've got a 72-foot proposed setback, and that's significantly over the minimum 15. Why is it set back so far? Planners?
Yeah, so originally, when we were looking at different layouts of the site, the building was actually rotated 90 degrees to face 163rd place, but we weren't looking to have parking in front of the building as our code requires and as the character of the street has currently.
Okay. Last question, under the staff recommended action, I have a question on number 1. Can you read that? Says the development will be in substantial conformance with the preliminary site plan and the building elevations for athletics maintenance facility? That is
Yeah, I'm sorry
incorrect,
about
isn't it?
that. I can amend that for this report.
Okay, because we are.
I was working on both
yeah, we
projects
want
simultaneously.
the right title here.
Yeah,
What's the-
sorry about that.
Okay. And in the motion, whoever makes the motion, I'd recommend that we say Emergency Operations Center instead of EOC. That's all I've got. Thanks.
Thank you, thank you. Commissioner Paul?
I don't have much to add to that. That's, an excellent idea, and we need it. It's a great place for it. We already have the land. It's already, the fire department's right there, so, yeah, I've got no problem with it. Thank you, Mr.
Thank
Chairman.
you. Commissioner Sanchez?
I agree with Commissioner Paul, no real questions, it looks great. I am curious about the old firing range though, and what your plans are for that space.
That range will be demoed. That site will be coming probably back to you for another project in the upcoming years here. We're looking at how do we maintain and keep our vehicles longer? And one of the things is keeping it inside a building. So, and we would like to consolidate storage to the site, so we'll be bringing that back to you guys.
And at present, that's an outdoor range.
Correct. So that area will be demoed and ultimately.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Any plans for the present vehicle storage area on the public works site? Just parking?
No additional parking, we think.
No, I mean, you're going to get rid of the stored vehicles there. What are you going to use it for?
Oh, so when we do the layout for the site, some of the salt shed, and there's a lot of dynamics. We're not gonna, when the vehicles go over, we'll need that space for to get around the building, that area where the cars are parked currently.
Okay, so you're looking at your site to kind of reconfigure it a little bit to be more efficient?
Correct. So you'll see that Valdez is the architect for that too, and they'll be coming
There you
back to
go.
you guys
We're covered.
with a plan.
Okay, Commissioner Zatar, anything?
I don't have too many questions. I think I'm understanding.
Joe, would you turn your mic on, please?
Sorry. I don't have too many questions, maybe just for the staff. I think I read it correctly. The zoning doesn't change, right? Has this, maybe just for some background, has the board seen this project? Or the board see this project for the first time after this review?
I believe they've seen like the funding. For
Yes,
it.
they've gotten updates as we've gone along with the design.
Like formally in like the board meetings?
No, more informal.
Informally? I mean, because it's like, okay, so I guess from what we're tasked to do, you know, consolidating 2 lots and a couple variances on parking and trash cans, I mean, looks like a great idea, you know? I'm not a budget planner for the city, and I don't know if the board will approve this project or not, but, you know, best of luck, right? So.
Thank you, Joe.
Thank you.
Once again, it's a nice project, and thanks for the visuals, and thanks for the explanation. I think it's a good use of the property. And,
Yeah, we planned this in our capital, so they're approving our capital expenditures.
so you have it out there already.
So that we're,
Yes.
yes, we're moving
Right.
out on this idea.
Well thought out, and excellent questions from my fellow commissioners. So at this point, I would just entertain a motion.
Mr. Chairman,
Commissioner Schussler?
I would bet it didn't get this far if they didn't know what was going on, so.
Yeah,
I would, regarding case number 2023-0508, also known as Police Department Firing Range and Emergency Operations Center Facility, I move to approve the staff recommended action as presented in the staff report to the Plan Commission for this case.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Schussler, seconded by Commissioner Paul. All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Okay, I move we close non-public hearings.
Second.
Second. Good job, Joel.
Thank you.
All in favor?
Aye.
Really, there isn't any, I mean, but just some appearance reviews. You all got a chance to see that. So nothing of any substantial, of course, any discussion. Just a heads up on what's going on. Any new business? Other than that, I make a motion that we adjourn at 7:33 PM.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Paul. On favor?
Aye.
Okay, thank you, gentlemen. Excellent job. Thank you, staff.
How long have we owned the building, or owned the land?